going on, YouTube? I'm back again for another video. So, for today's agenda, it's a new day, a new week, meaning we're back at chest. But we're gonna mix it up. Usually I would do recovery at the end. But I'm thinking cardio instead, because obviously I want to build my endurance, and I can't have good endurance if I'm not working out my endurance. So I'm thinking, granted, I'm not gonna be running like crazy, but I think for about 30 minutes before I leave the gym, after my workout and everything, I'm thinking like an inclined treadmill walk. So I feel like that, because I've heard that the treadmill walk burns a lot of calories, or not a lot of calories, a lot of fat. So I was thinking we do that instead of recovery, and then if we get the time to, considering I'm gonna be up early tomorrow morning, do the recovery then, and then obviously go to the gym the night of, because tomorrow I have an event to go to for my job. But I can't even see me. There. But all things aside, like I said, today's chest day. I'm thinking chest, shoulders, and triceps, and tomorrow back, biceps, and forearms, because that's usually how the split usually goes. As far as what workouts, I'm not so sure. But I do know that we are going to be pushing ourselves a lot, as we should, considering we're trying to build the physique we want, So I think that's enough out of me. I'm about to down this pre-workout right here, and then, we'll get to the first workout. YouTube. All right, pre-workout has been down. Got the coconut water on hand. Hydration. First workout to get the body hot. We're gonna do pullovers. I know it's a back movement / shoulder movement, but gotta get the body hot, get the body warm. So just simple, few reps just to warm up the body. Back straight, feet together. Gotta grab it. Yeah, I need to switch to the V-bar. I would use the strict V-bar, but I can't find it, so I'm gonna use the swivel one. Works about the same. Only difference is this part moves, obviously. So again, just simple, warming up the body. Same deal. Pullovers. Did it a little lighter, but again, still warming up the body. I think we're fairly warmed up now. So let's go ahead and get the first set in. Got the bag and the Vita Coco to hold my spot. But right now, we got flies. And like I did in the lower or the upper body video, I'm not gonna be sitting on the bench. I'll be having my back elevated and getting a really tight squeeze on my lower and upper chest. Or just my upper chest. My lower chest I'm gonna work later. But same deal. Grab outside. These things ain't even. Are they? Okay. Like I did last time. Grab on the outside to get a really nice stretch on the chest. Feet together. Let me lower it a little bit. Thought I'd be able to do that, but doing it like this, it's a little different. So, do 110 on the stack. It's 100 plus the little wheel that they have. Deep stretch on the out, squeezing on the in. You get a really nice blood flow when I'm going. Every day coming to the gym, there's always a good day because never know what could happen. You can meet someone new, make a friend, re-meet old friends. If they go to the same gym, you never know. Of course, at the end of the day, we're all here to have the same goal, which is to better ourselves for the long run. Obviously, weightlifting, however it may be, got obviously me doing bodybuilding or however you want to conceive it. And then others, we got some people right here doing calisthenics. So at the end of the day, regardless of what it is you train, you're still getting work in. You're still training to become a better version of yourself. So let's go ahead and get this next set in. Come on. Come on, I got a few more in me. Those squeezing sets are what activate. So let's go ahead and try doing the seated one instead. All right. Lowered the seat a little bit, as you can see. But same rules apply. We are going to be sitting down this time, focusing on that mid chest. So pin stayed the same weight and everything. But I'm going to really emphasize on that squeeze in the middle. So I've always liked chest flies of all variants. Might do the cables, same thing, but you know, all around is all a good workout. All right. Next set, same deal. Squeezing reps, making sure we target that mid chest to get a really good size on the pump. Hold on. All right. That should be better. Fuck. Yeah. Let's go do some cables for downward pulls. Actually, we'll do upward pulls. No. Yeah, downward pulls to focus on that lower chest. So, again, 2 per workout. Failure. Really activate everything. So, let's get to it. All right. Now, we're going to do these a little differently from what I've seen. So, we're going to be bent more over like this to try to really focus on that squeeze. Whereas instead of trying to just move the weight. Obviously, we're going to go a little lighter than what we usually do. But at the end of the day, it's still a chest exercise. Yeah, I need to go a little heavier than what I'm doing now. Because I ain't feeling jack. That's a good set. I like how that one fit. Simple workouts, man. I'm trying to get more accustomed to feeling what it is I like doing for each exercise to try to get my videos shorter. Not necessarily so I can have more views, but it is like, I don't know, what is it, 2-ish in the morning? Somewhere around there. So when it comes down to it, really just trying to get home to get sleep so I can have energy for work instead of having to run off like 2-3 hours of sleep. So okay. Let's go do one more exercise for chest, I'm thinking incline Smith machine would be the way to go. All right. Like I said, Smith machine, incline bench press is usually a really good workout for controlling the weight. And for here, we can go heavy. Right now, I got what would be 135 pounds loaded up technically. And we're going to get a stretch. And we're going to do it how I normally do. Half reps, engaging that stretch to make sure I'm actually moving that. Because if I'm at the top and trying to squeeze it, I'm really more just damaging myself. Not necessarily because the full range of motion would activate my shoulders, but because if you think about it, you really want to focus on that stretch to where it necessarily rips the muscle so it can repair itself, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few reps of this. I think if I went a little heavier, use my elbow wraps, I feel like I'd get a really nice pump, a really nice squeeze or stretch since I'm focusing on that. So go ahead and change that up real quick. Let me pause this. Also have to use the restroom, so I will be back in a second. All right. I'm gonna add a quarter onto the bar. The quarter, again, as I've mentioned, obviously, if you don't know metrics, 25. Add 25 pounds onto the bar. And we are going to be using our elbow reps. And we're going to focus on getting that stretched position. Those last few, we are going to be pressing full range of motion to get the squeeze. But right now, focusing more on the stretch than we are the squeeze aspect of this pressing movement. Go ahead and get these on real fast. And if you don't have any, I do recommend getting some elbow reps because they are a very big help when it comes to pressing movements. And that includes all kinds. Overhead, chest, whatever. Any movement that you can think of that involves a press, these are helpful. Hell, even on squats, these can be a little helpful. Not necessarily in a sense where you would think, but they do help a lot. Give you a little bit of extra oomph when it comes to that top set of squeezing. Easy. Now, let's go do some shoulders. And then once we're done with shoulders, we'll do some triceps. Triceps is usually the fun part. Slide these back in here. All right, let's get going to shoulders. All right. Now, we're getting into a more difficult position for shoulders. We're gonna be doing dumbbell lateral raises, but I'm gonna try to push myself today and use a weight that I haven't done in quite a long time for lateral raises, which is gonna be the 50-pound dumbbells. So there's a trick to it. Hold it at the bottom. Obviously, we're gonna be underneath our legs since that's where the starting movement for the rep is. When we bring it up, we're gonna puff our chest and turn our hands downward. I learned that trick from what was his name? There's a bodybuilder from the golden age. Kai Green. I think it was Kai Green. He said, you gotta imagine yourself pouring a cup or pouring a jug, whichever way you wanna picture it. Because in the end, that's pretty much all the dumbbell lateral raise is. Coming down, puffing up, and pouring a jug. Especially considering if you look at the handle of the dumbbell, it makes things a little more difficult. But I think I'm gonna do 1 rep of these, seeing how it feels, bring them upward and downward, controlling them. And if I don't feel like I can get a few more of that, I'm gonna lower it down to about 40s, maybe the 35s, and use fat grips. I'll show what fat grips are here in a minute. But for now, let's go ahead and get this going. Yeah, let's lower it and control it a little better using the fat grips. Fat grips just adds a little more girth to the dumbbell, the handle itself. So, all right. As I said, I'm gonna be using the fat grips. This is a fat grip. Y'all can't see it. If you notice, the handle for the dumbbell is a lot thicker than what it would be. What this does is it activates your forearms as you're lifting. Since we're going to be doing lateral raises, we're going to target mid delt and forearms at the same time as we turn. So let's go ahead. I think that is a really good set. We're gonna do one more, and then we'll move on to front delts. Front delts, we're only gonna do 2 exercises. It's gonna be the one I showed you with the seated row area, and then I'm gonna try out a new one, dumbbell front raises. Have them on the side. Pretty much think of it like if you're doing cable chest flies, pulling upward, but we're targeting the shoulder, focusing on that squeeze at the top. Really trying to focus on that front delt. So let's get this last set going. Here we go. Okay, let's go to front delts. Okay, as I've said, This one's a more difficult shoulder front raise because it targets your front delts incredibly well. So glad I discovered this. But got it to 25 pounds, as you see on there. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I'm gonna do it as normal. Come on. Come on. Yeah. I gotta lower this. Oh. Oh. Gotta catch a breather, because if not, you're gonna be out of breath and you're not gonna be able to perform as good as you would. So, like I said, focusing on those front delts, pulling them as high as I possibly can. And I lowered it down to 10 pounds, as I'm sure y'all saw me do. Don't. There it is. I just tried popping my back. Okay. Let's go do the dumbbells, and then we'll do triceps. All right. Like I did on the side raises, going lighter weight. I'm gonna try the 30s, which is a weight I feel like, no, I can already tell these are gonna be too heavy. I'll do the 20s instead. 20s. And like I said, on the front raises, on the row, I'm gonna really emphasize the squeeze at the top. Okay, we'll just do that once. Let's go get some triceps in. Triceps, and then we'll do the pump check. All right, as you would expect, V-bar push downs into skull crushers. So again, 2 sets of each till failure. Trying to get past it. So let's get it. I need to go heavier. I'm not quite feeling that. I'll go 65. Okay. Now, going into some skull crushers. I am going to be lowering the weight because my long head of the tricep isn't as dominant. But let's go. I could not have done more of that. Let's go back into some push downs. And I'm not stopping the video. I'll go a little heavier than what I did. Because, as I mentioned, my short head, which is that part that bulges out on the side of your shirt when you go like that, is more dominant than my long head, which is what gives that horseshoe look on the back of the tricep. So, I'm gonna try to push myself on these. Pin is at 80 right now. Here we go. Let's lower it to 72 and a half. Those few were good, but I could definitely get more. Like I said. All right. Last set of skull crushers. And then we'll go check this pump. Here we go. I need to lower it. I want to get as close to failure, if not to failure, on this last set. Is it even on? Yeah, it is. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I'm feeling pumped. Let's go check it. All right. Now we got the pump check. Right now, I'm feeling like it's gonna be pretty gnarly. Oh. Wow, even my traps got a bit of a pump. I like this. Oh my gosh, I can feel it.